We now have the next session, the race to personalization at scale. Speaking on this topic, we have Jayendran Venugopal, CPTO, Flipkart, and Bruce Tans, SVP and President, Target in India. Chairing the session is Srini Krish, President, Fiserv Global Services. Jayendran leads a very talented team spanning all of product management, engineering, design, and user research, data science, IT, security, infrastructure, and product operations. Bruce is responsible for Target in India's long-term global capability strategy, amplifying the Target brand and culture, and strengthening the relationship between Target's US and India headquarters. Srini is currently responsible for leading an organization of 10,000 plus very talented engineers who provide services across engineering, infrastructure, management, business process automation, product management, quality assurance, centers of excellence, business analytics, and insights. Over to you now, Srini. Take it away.
Thank you, Shreya, for welcoming us, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon session. My name is Srini Krish, and I'm part of Fiserv. As most of you probably know, Fiserv is a global leader in payments and financial services technology. We help our clients achieve best-in-class results through a commitment to innovation excellence in areas including account processing, digital banking solutions, card issuer processing, network services, payments in brick and mortar and e-commerce. We help our merchant acquiring business to be able to process payments, and we also own and operate Clover, our cloud-based point of sale and business management platform. We're nearly in about 6 million merchant locations globally. We have about 1.4 billion accounts on file. We process about 12,000 transactions per second, and we have financial institution clients, nearly about 10,000 globally that we have relationships with. This afternoon's topic is about the race to personalization at scale. We have some excellent panel here. Before we get into having a conversation with them, I want to take a few minutes to share my thoughts. As businesses yield incremental revenue and customer growth through their customization efforts, personalization at scale is becoming more and more crucial for not just a profitable journey, but also to growth. Armed with deep understanding of user groups' personas like previous purchases, companies can determine now the ideal content to offer them across channels and devices. For instance, a good retail experience now, every guest expects personalization. This personalized experience is built through various facets, from predicting future demand based on market trends to building product lineup that truly addresses the unique needs of each of their guests. Given the accelerating digital consumer behavior, organizations are now creating personalized experience through their users' digital journey. And this is driven by growing customer expectations, for one. Second, the power of data analytics, and now also the maturing new age technology advancements. Personalization is not limited to the initial stage as it used to be at the time of the purchase cycle. Now sharing of relevant and timely offers with customers, but also at the last stage of purchase by customizing the payment methods. Personalized digital banking helps to deliver high-quality customer experience, as we know, and also attract new clients, thus growing their businesses eventually. How the race to personalization through digital medium, increasing their businesses and integration is what we're going to talk about this afternoon. But before that, we now know brands are utilizing real-time data, analytics using users' digital journey to drive personalization and predict the efficacy of user design for different customer personas. With the new age technologies, organizations can enrich their brand's experience to customers at every single touch point throughout the entire journey, from awareness to search, up to the purchase, and even after that during the advocacy stage. For instance, the powerful combination of a shopper profile data and preferences collected through live elements like searches or preferred payment options helps brands create an enriching experience for customers at the buying stage. Offering a service to a customer based on personal experiences and historical customer data is empowering merchants with insights to push meaningful offers and intelligent update to customers. Let's talk about hyper-personalization in retail banking. Today's digital natives are looking at making transactions in the most seamlessly integrated and secure way. Harnessing the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning, hyper-personalization in digital banking is elevating customer experience at the payment stage, providing personalized payment options to users at the last stage of purchase is not only the most effective way of driving customer loyalty, but is expected out of every single transaction. From usage of cards to wallets to voice commands for payments to wearables now these days is making transactions not only easy, but also very secure. Using embedded finance, brands are making the whole experience easier, convenient, and secure for their users, thus advancing the customer base for retailers. Lastly, omni-channel integration is a must these days. The more technology advances, multi-device digital journeys are becoming a norm for users. There is enough evidence to show that customers are willing to spend more money when their experience is personalized. Companies can implement now omni-channel personalization at scale by leveraging, for example, chatbots for streamlining customer support, customizing mobile applications specific to that particular user, and creating immersive in-store experiences through their digital kiosk. There's so much more happening in this space. I'm excited to be spending time to learn from two of the senior most executive leading this for two of the most respected brands. Let me first invite Bruce Starnes, Senior Vice President, President for Target in India, to share his thoughts on today's session theme. Bruce?
Well, thanks, Srini, and I am just thrilled to be here, Jay. It's great to be on this panel with you as well. Target is one of the largest retailers in the U.S. We operate over 1,900 stores and a pretty robust set of digital and fulfillment capabilities. I lead our team in India. We've been an established second headquarters for Target for over 16 years now, and are really proud of the work that we're doing to help enable our guests, which is the term we use for our customers, to help them have the most seamless experience and really continue to have their love for our brand. So personalization is just like you said, it is a must in today's retail environment. Our guests expect the experience to be personalized for them, and they also expect us to respect their privacy in doing that. When we think about personalization, there is a lot of technology and capabilities. There's buzzwords everywhere that you can think about. And I will just say, I like to simplify the way to think about personalization, right? It's understanding who your guest is, their intentions that they have in that particular moment, understanding the assortment and the price of that assortment that's relevant for them, and then using all those capabilities to bring it to life for them in the channel that they're in. Are they in store? Are they online? Are they in their mobile device? All of those things have to come together at the right moment with the right content. And that's really what personalization is. And there is a lot of amazing technology and capability, at it, but really getting at the mind of the guest and understanding what they need is absolutely critical in the experience. So I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Bruce. That was a great opening. Let me now invite Jay Gopal, Chief Product and Technology Officer at Flipkart, to share his thoughts on today's topic before we dive into some questions. Jay?
Thank you. Thank you, Srini. And it is a pleasure to be on the panel with both of you, Bruce and Srini. I lead product and tech at Flipkart. And Flipkart, as many of you may already know, is the leading e-commerce company, marketplace platform in India. So Indian market is a very, very unique market, right? So it is extremely diverse in every aspect that you can imagine, right? The country is geographically fairly vast. And the cultural milieu of the country is very different when you go to different parts of the country, which means the consumer preferences also actually change fairly drastically, right? In a country such as the US, for example, which is 3 times larger, I think the gradient, if I may say so, right, in terms of the variations that you see in consumer purchase patterns, preferences would be much less compared to what you would see like in a country like India. So I think personalization is really at the very heart of how we try to engage our customers. And over the years, some of the technology tools that have come into play, especially with some of the latest AI-based mechanisms that help you build models that were just unimaginable in terms of their outcomes and complexity compared to the earlier days algorithms, right? I think have helped take the expectations from customers as well to an entirely different level, right? So I think if you look at companies such as ByteDance, which just suddenly came on the scene and captured this entire short video market in no time at all, right? The real secret sauce of what they cracked was actually their extremely powerful personalization algorithm, where without you having to declare your interests in any explicit way, they were able to still keep you extremely engaged with their app content and surface, right? So it is now evident and apparent to companies that if you're able to invest in personalization, we can create small that can create that differentiation and move to competition and help you build that very strong where the consumers feel that they are being actually served with the utmost efforts and focus by the business, right? So that is something that we have taken to heart, and we have done a lot of investments over the last few years. And I would love to share more about some of that work as we go along in this conversation.
We would love to hear more. Thank you, Jay. You know, I was on my way over here. I was just thinking about personalization and just taking myself back to the pre-internet days. And I thought something very funny, and I'd share that with you. I don't know if you have ever shopped for, counterfeit, perfumes, but, I hope you never did. And back in the early 90s, but, we used to hear about if you like this, you may like this perfume, right? It's not really that, but it kind of smells like that and looks like that. And that started way back in the late 80s and 90s. And then if you really think about, the stores in the US, as you walk out to go pay, you have these things that are right there, which you don't really come into the store to shop for, but you really find a need for it and you just grab it on the way out. These things started much before the word personalization came into play, right? Let me start with you, Bruce, if you don't mind. I've always admired what Target's been able to do, integrating the omni-channel experience for customers and guests, if you will. Between the multiple channels that you have. Would you mind talking to us about some of the trends on customer expectations from your brand, especially relating to the omni-channel?
Yeah. Omni-channel is we're good 7+ years, right, on just how critical omni-channel is, but I don't think there's ever been something accelerate what omni-channel means like the pandemic. These last few years. You've got to be able to understand your guest and what they're going through, in so many different aspects of it. And listen, we've been really focused on, building experiences for our guests that are first class, whether it's in stores, whether it's, on our app or our sites. But the key is our guests use all of them, and they use all of them at different points, right? And it depends on the experience. A guest can easily just be in that mode that they want to walk the store and get inspired, for their guests could be using our site to build, their weekly grocery basket, or they get inspired watching, something on TV in the movies and they pull up their app and open something. They're always thinking about Target, and we've got to treat that guest the same way, no matter what channel that they're using. So we've put a lot of time and energy in trying to make as much of that as seamless as possible. Probably our signature experience that ties all that together is a platform that we call Target Circle. It's our loyalty program. It gives our guests 1% off of everything that they buy in any of our channels. And then it builds them customized offers and experiences depending on where they're at, right? And so we built that program a few years ago. We're seeing just tremendous success with it. And some of the things, that it does is it really uses AI to understand, okay, what is the guest doing? What is their needs? What are their desires? What is the intention? And offering relevant experiences for that. Is it a weekend store shopper? And so we want to give them something to inspire that weekend trip. We can already see that they're looking for spring trends. different parts of fashion, and we can offer, some of our newest, fashion ideas with a different offer to buy more, to try things. And so Circle is meant to be as omni-channel as possible. Understand the context of where you are shopping, the needs that you have, and tying those things together. And so, we look at that as an opportunity to connect the guest. A good chunk of Target Circle is being built out of our team in India. And so we're just absolutely thrilled, with the capabilities and the technology that we have, in India that starts to connect all of this. So that's probably one of the most advanced parts of our personalization platform that really ties the omnichannel experience together.
I've had my own experience with Target Circle. It's amazing. It's really, really good. So thank you for that. And Jay, it's always exciting to be on Flipkart, even if, you're just browsing for things, right? You guys have got it figured out. Can you talk to us about how AI is helping, personalization of products for your customers, and what insights have you been able to gather over the years on that?
Absolutely, Srini. We'll talk through some of that. So I touched upon this a bit earlier. I'll go a little bit deeper into it, right? So India is a country with 22 scheduled languages, but 19,500 dialects spoken across the length and breadth of the country, right? And as they say, India is a land of contrast, right? So you have really the ultra rich all the way to people who may be still, unfortunately, at subsistence level of livelihood, right? So our aim is to serve the entire spectrum and be the platform that offers the right mix of selection, value, and convenience for wherever you are on this spectrum, right? So when you have such a broad mission, ambitious mission, and you're leaving no stone unturned for any of the consumer cohorts, the only way to do this at the scale at which we operate is by means of deploying this magic sauce of personalization, right? So right from the moment when the customer actually comes to your platform, with the first click where you see them on your platform, you need to be able to offer customized experiences. Right. It may be a bit kind of mysterious for people to hear this, to say, like, first time the first click is landing on you. What do you know about the customer for you to start personalizing, right? So that is where, like, the signals that you can acquire at the cohort level, population level, can help you get you a starting point for that personalization. We look at, for example, the device and the model of the device from that is being used when we have acquired the customer. And you learn certain things over time regarding when a user comes to you with, let's say, the latest iPhone 13 versus, let's say, entry-level Android device. What could be the difference in the price perception, the price affinity, brand affinities, and value affinities that they may have, right? Is this a convenience-seeking customer, or is it a value-seeking customer, right? So that is one signal. The other one is, of course, geo, right? So we use geo signals quite a lot, right? So when we capture location of the user, we can, using that in combination with other signals, one such is the device type that I talked about, right? You can have a very good starting point even when you are just landing the first click of the user on your platform, right? So, and when you have a catalog which has tens of millions of items, right? Unless you are able to quickly show the user that you have what they need, you will very quickly lose their interest. Right. So one of the things that is also a kind of a unique dilemma of our times, right? So we have so many choices and we have so much content to look at that our attention spans are very, very short, right? And it's getting shorter by the day, right? So when you're not able to hook your customer and their interest within the first few seconds of them landing on your platform, you can expect them to bounce off. Right. So that is where learning everything you can about your customer from the first click they make on your platform, and with every subsequent action they perform on your platform, to be able to do in-session personalization. It is no longer even about learning everything and then have like offline big data crunching algorithms that are on a every day basis or a week basis will do some number crunching and throw out something for the next time the customer will visit you. Alas, next time may never happen, right? You have lost the customer for good because they did a sampling and then you didn't measure up to what they wanted, right? So that is where I think the consumer expectations are actually raising the bar for all of us. They expect more, and rightfully so. And that is where AI technologies have come into play in a big way, right? So today we are able to actually create billion parameters personalization models that not only actually customize the particular merchandising offers and personalized recommendations that we have for you from all the information we have gathered about you throughout your history with us, right? It is now also about actually layout personalization for the customer, and everything in between, right? It's not only about content personalization, right? So we use personalization signals, which are geo-based, journey-based, based on the customers. Are they in what we call as purchase sequence, right? Are they in their purchase sequence 0, which means that they're a user, but they have not yet been converted to a customer yet, right? So we are trying to induce the first purchase, right? That's a very different customer from, for example, a customer who has already purchased with us a few times, and we know something about their category affinities, brand affinities, and other things, right? So you need completely different goal functions, objective functions, and AI algorithms that do very different things and different outcomes that we even optimize for, right? When we try to personalize for these very different cohorts. So that is how, I mean, we have now looked at it to be a tool that is not just used at in terms of either CRM touchpoints or homepage merchandising. It is a all pervasive technology, right from how the product page looks for you, to how your cart and checkout experience works, to showing even the right payment method on top of your list, knowing what is your affinity of payment, right? And everything in between, right?
What I was talking about is it is not only about personalizing the homepage or the merchandising callouts or CRM, but also it is about personalizing every aspect of their journey with us throughout the funnel in terms of their purchase, and also post-purchase experience in terms of the delivery experience. And when they call into customer service, how do we serve them? And if you know, for example, they use a particular vernacular version of our platform, we want to land them directly on a service agent who is able to address them in that language, right? Without them having to manually key in something saying, hey, I want somebody who speaks in Tamil, for example, and so on, right? So the end-to-end experience of the customer with our platform is where personalization helps us in a massive way.
That's now I know why I get what I get when I use my iPhone 6 versus iPhone 13, I guess. But that's very insightful. Thank you, Jay. I was thinking that I would post something that's common to both of you and maybe gain some insights with regards to how you're thinking about this. You know, we get to see, I think, Bruce, you touched on it. There's, you know, trends emerging every day, and the pandemic has only exacerbated the new trends and advanced, you know, some of the disruptions forward. Can you share with us what are some of the trends and disruptions that you're seeing that will continue to transform in the future? I'll start with Bruce yourself, and then I'll go to Jay. Sorry.
Yeah, Srini, you know, love that question, right? I mean, retail is all about disruption, right? It is constantly, you know, looking for new trends that are out there. And so, you know, one of the things that we are, you know, really focused on when it comes to disruption is our guests. And how are they reacting to what is happening in the marketplace? But probably more importantly, how are they reacting to what we are doing, right? To what we are providing them, right? We have, you know, a pretty large loyal guest base. And so, you know, one of the most important things that we do is to listen to our guests and to understand what is happening. And we listen to them through a ton of means. Obviously, we can listen to them based on their clicks and based on their way that they use all of our different experiences. Obviously, within their stores, we can understand their behaviors in stores, and we can get really obviously connected to them through different, you know, listening sessions and talking to them. So there is obviously a ton of disruption, you know, that's out there. Certainly, one of the things that we're seeing, and we're seeing a lot with our guests, is the move to same day experiences. You know, clearly that is something that I believe is going to remain post-pandemic. You know, we have seen our guests dramatically shift their behaviors to using things like our pickup in store, which has been something we've had for a long time, but has really accelerated. Our drive-up experience has absolutely exploded. So the guest, you know, pulls in, and within 2 minutes, we're out in their car, dropping off their package, or using our same day service shipped, which gives our guests, you know, access to our assortments and gets it there at a predetermined time that they're looking for. So all of that, you know, is probably something that we think will continue, you know, that's out there. But as the pandemic has given us these windows of time, which are a little bit safer than others, we've seen our guests flock to our stores and get back into the experience of shopping, and I think that's an important thing, that we'll see. And so, like I mentioned earlier, really staying in tune with our guests, listening to them. We spend a lot of time thinking about our assortment. Probably, one of our signature strengths is our ability to build own brands. We have 45 own brands that we have across, our stores and our different channels. And all of those own brands are really, they're designed, with the guests at the center of it all, right? So understanding what guests wants, certain types of trend in home, certain types of fashion, for their kids, for their teenagers. All of those things give us a huge competitive advantage when it comes to personalization, because we already have something that has been built for a demographic that we understand really, really well. And then we pick up signals in store and online to connect, that assortment. So, I think, going back to the question, when it comes to disruption, the ability to get the guests the product at the time they want is, I think, the thing that we'll see, as a lasting effect coming out of the pandemic.
Well, that's very insightful, Bruce. Thank you. And Jay, over to you. Same question, talking about the trends and disruptions that you're seeing in your space.
Absolutely, Srini. So one of the things that we strongly believe in as a company is that the real moat that we have as a company is our strong understanding of Bharat, right? Of our consumer base that we have built over 15 years of our existence as a company, right? So the 350 million customer base that we have engaged with throughout our history has given us valuable insights about what Bharat wants, right? Knowing our customers more is the only way to deepen that moat and broaden that moat as well, right? So basically, that is where I think some of the trends that are driving the level of personalization up are going to play even stronger role. So a few things I think Bruce also touched, right, in terms of paying us a lot of attention to the assortment, and that is something that we are looking at as well, right? So if you look at fashion, lifestyle as a particular area, fast fashion has been something that has taken the world by storm over the years, right? The ability to quickly iterate and do design cycles to manufacturing in very short order, and then react to emerging trends very quickly. And the way you detect those things is by means of technologies that you deploy to understand consumer preferences at scale, right? So the personalization technologies are the ones that, as a mirror, also tell you where are the gaps in your own assortment, right? For example, just as an example, I'll tell you that one of the things that we do is do deep mining of our user-generated comments when they provide reviews and ratings, right? So we gain a lot of valuable insights from it around white spaces in the product assortment that we have, right? And it may even be a market level assortment. It's not only about assortment that we may or may not be carrying, but even at the market level, we many times see that what consumers are looking for is not available. And that valuable insight, what we do is we work with some of our largest sellers that are on our platform who have direct brand relationships, who may have direct manufacturing relationships. They themselves may be small to medium brands and manufacturers, etc., right? To give them those insights on what is it that the assortment is lacking, which consumers are looking for. And this is all based on natural language processing and machine learning, purely over just the millions and millions of reviews that we get on our products when consumers purchase them, right? So I do believe that this trend of actually creating assortments that are dynamically reacting to market intelligence as they come through consumers will scale up and go beyond fast fashion into even other product lines, categories as well. I think rapid manufacturing technologies, design iterations, the whole product, the PLM cycle, the product life cycle management of many traditional categories will get challenged and will be asked to raise up to the bar of making it faster, making it trendy, and making it much more responsive to consumer needs. So those are some of the things that we see. And as AI technology evolves, right, and every 3 months you see some new cutting edge technology that is helping you create models that are even more powerful, that are even more accurate in terms of their predictive value and all of that stuff, right? So we are very, very hopeful of how we can continue to deploy these technologies to create ever powerful models that at the end of the day, it's all about serving your customers to the best of your abilities. And that's the fundamental that we'll always be focused on.
That's very, very helpful. And as personally speaking for myself and my wife, I guess we're guests of Target and customers of Flipkart. We can only be more excited about what's there to come. So thank you for sharing the insights with me and the audience here. So just to close here again, we just heard Bruce and Jay talk about how technological advances, especially in data and artificial intelligence, are going to continue to be pillars of personalization. Organizations have to continue to harness internal and external data, for that matter, with technology to stay ahead. Use of newer techniques, like whether it is creation of customer data platform or customer analytics hub, have proved to be effective in measuring engagement, as we have now heard. Customer experience and profitability becomes the center of the equation of all of this equation. Now, what will drive differentiation is going to be authentic consumer insights, leveraging the data analytics and elevating customer experiences. It came out very clear in this afternoon's conversation throughout their digital journey, right? Not just at the entrance, but all the way through the payment. And building digital trust is absolute essential around safety, security, and scalability. So thank you for joining. Hope you guys all found this session to be useful. And Bruce, thank you again. And Jay, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And over to you, Shreya.
Thank you, Srini and speakers, for that invigorating session. The Indian market is extremely diverse, rendering the consumer preferences to also change drastically. Personalized experience is built through various assets, from predicting future demands based on market trends to build product lines that address unique needs of each user. Scaling needs to be about personalization and the ability to adapt to increasing market demands. All that and more on that session.